Welcome to downtown Louisville, where they have one of the most rabid fan bases in all of college basketball. And tonight it's an American Conference matchup of the first game of our ESPN doubleheader as the Memphis Tigers come to town. A couple of ranked teams, number 24 Memphis and number 12 Louisville, meeting for the 88th time. The second game takes us out west, the number one team in the nation. The Arizona Wildcats against the high-flying UCLA Bruins. What a night of hoops it's going to be. Welcome to the Thursday Night Showcase presented by Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, a part of the American Conference on ESPN. And what a big-time arena, what a big-time atmosphere. It is a whiteout here tonight in Louisville. This is an American Conference matchup between a couple of ranked teams, longtime rivals in the Memphis Tigers and the Louisville Cardinals. Hi, everybody. A belated Happy New Year. Welcome to Louisville. Dan Shulman and Dick Vitale. This is going to be fun. It's going to be up and down. The coaches feel these two teams are really mirror images of one another.
They really are. When you look at the total rebounds, they match each other. Steals, assists. They really have great athleticism. And I'm telling you this, their athletes can get up and down the floor.
As you take a look at the numbers, you see how heavily both teams rely on points off turnovers. They get steals, and they turn those into points at the other end. Let's take a look now at how these teams are planning for success, brought to you by Northwestern Mutual, and we're going to see some quick, talented guards here tonight.
Well, you talk about Joe Jackson. When you look at certainly Memphis, super quick. He's lightning. You turn the ball over, it's a layup on the other end of the floor. On the other side, take a look right there. Jackson, turnover city, they got a deuce. On the other side, Russ Smith really mirrors it. Same situation. Turn it over. He's really improved his passing ability. He's found open people. He does a great job playing within the realm of their offense.
I'll look at the starting lineups tonight, beginning with the visitors. The Memphis Tigers dominated by guard play. Joe Jackson, better than 15 points per game, but they've got to make shots. When they have lost, they have not shot the three well at all. For the Cardinals, Chris Jones, who missed some practice time this week with a sprained ankle, is in the starting lineup alongside Russ Smith. And Montrezl Harrell is a key guy up front for the Cardinals. It's Memphis in blue, it's Louisville in white, it's Doug Sermons, Don Daly, and Roger Ayers. The officials, it's Dickie V, it's a whiteout, it's a big game in a basketball hotbed.
Tell you what, these two clubs really have had some great matchups. Louisville's, though, won the last 4 times they have played.
And Mathiang taps it out of bounds, so Memphis will get the first possession of the game. Memphis coming off a very disappointing game, a loss at home to Cincinnati, 69-53. And as Josh Pastner told us just about half an hour ago, and as we just said, they've got to shoot the three better than they've been shooting it.
Well, absolutely. That's really been a real dilemma for them. In fact, they rank on the bottom. They're like about 325th in the nation of the 361 schools.
Yeah, latest numbers have them up at 317, but out of 361, you're right. And it's largely the same crew as they had last year with the addition of Michael Dixon, a transfer from Missouri. Shaq Goodwin misses the turnaround. And here comes Russ Smith. And we'll see how Memphis handles him. Jackson's on him right now. Blackshear misses the three, and down with the rebound is the freshman Austin Nichols.
Tell you the one thing about Smith, he's playing a little bit better under control this year versus last year. Rick Pitino said he's really improved in many areas.
Nice little two-man game, and the baseline jumper is there for Chris Crawford.
Crawford's a guy that's got to make shots, Dan. Against Cincinnati, you alluded to earlier, he was 2 for 11. They're not going to win if he's shooting 2 for 11.
Both teams want to get up and down. Both teams like to play a fast pace. This game could easily wind up in the 80s if they're shooting the ball reasonably well. A miss by the Cardinals, and back on the Tigers.
See the zone right now and a missed shot. They rotate into a zone defensively. I think Memphis is going to face a lot of zones because of their inability to make the three.
Yep. On the season, shooting just 29% as a team from beyond the arc. They were up around 37 last year.
The guy that can shoot it basically is Crawford, even though he's had some struggles.
What a great offensive rebound, and sticking with it. On the third opportunity, it pays off. I think Nichols will get credit for the basket, although Johnson was there as well.
Terry Johnson is some kind of athlete. He's got that quick bounce off the floor.
And it was Austin Nichols. His scoring has been down, hasn't been playing as much, hasn't been scoring as much. But a nice offensive rebound and a good start here in the first 2 minutes for Memphis.
Nice matchup with Jackson and Smith. Look at Smith go right by him.
And the shot clock just reset for some reason. It's not going to matter when the shot clock a little bit slow starting as they go down to this end of the floor. Jackson misses the layup, and back comes Louisville.
What about the quickness up and down the floor? You talk about tempo. Wow.
And a turnover.
Turn it over, they're going to get a layup the other end.
Jackson lob. And it's out of bounds. It will stay with Memphis. Josh Pastner was just 31 years of age when he took over as the head coach of Memphis. Still looks like he's 31.
He looks like 25.
He does, doesn't he? Relentlessly positive guy, but he knows his team has to play better than it's done so far this year.
But he told us before the game, he said, we like this pace tonight. We don't like it when teams want to slow us down. Cincinnati did a great job controlling the tempo of the game and getting the shots they want. And by the way, Mick Cronin's club's been on fire lately.
Yep. Nichols with a reverse, his second field goal already.
He wants some PT, man. He heard about the fact that he's not going to get as much playing time. You got to be able to be productive.
So 2 minutes and 40 seconds in, Louisville still hasn't scored.
You got to face the basket. No threat if you face it down here.
Chris Jones uses the screen, misses the jumper. And they're on the board on the slam by Wayne Blackshear.
See, I think Blackshear has ability to put a little bit more point production. Got a little matchup here with Jackson and Jones as well, both from Memphis.
And they played against each other often on the high school level, including a state title won by Jones over Jackson in the championship game. Jones with a drive, can't finish, rebound Goodwin, and here they come again. Jaron Johnson, full head of steam, misses the left-handed layup. Stephen Van Treese down with a rebound for the Cardinals. Up and down they go.
I like this. I like this kind of basketball. Let the kids play, man. Let him play.
There's the Hall of Famer Rick Pitino, decided not to go for the white suit on whiteout night, but you can see the record, the accomplishments, the national championship from last year, and he says he likes his team, but he, like Josh Pastner, thinks there's still room for improvement.
Well, you know, losing Shane Behannon, certainly a big loss physically, even though if you look at his point production this year for Behannon, it was not there. But let's at least wish him the best of luck in trying to get himself straight. I think the first step, Dan, is identifying you have a problem, and he's done that. Second phase would be number one. Now, what's the solution? What can we do to solve my problem? And he's at John Lucas's place, who does a great job with young people. And we wish you the best, Shane. Make sure you listen to John and follow their advice. You're young enough, you can make it back.
And on the court, it's a big loss. As you said, a guy who did more than his numbers would indicate, a big body, a good rebounder, and they're thin up front without Behannon. The time looked like the three was there for Johnson, but he passed it up. Now the corner three for Crawford, and a good sign for Memphis.
Yeah, that's a great sign if he starts making threes. He's the one guy capable of doing that.
He's at 35% from three-point range, was at 40 last year. The other main three-point shooters have all seen their numbers fall off much more dramatically than that. Van Treese in early off the bench for Mathiang.
Trying to make him play some defense, a little patience.
Smith from 18. Tipped back out, and here come the Tigers again.
They want to run, baby, run. They want to run with that rock.
But Johnson will turn it over, and it'll be Louisville ball when we come back. An energetic, good start for the visiting team. Memphis leads early 5-5.
Weekend's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, the perfect combination of chocolate and peanut butter. And in part by Hyundai. New thinking, new possibilities.
Back in Louisville, the Memphis Tigers lead the Cardinals by 5 in the early going. Dan Schulman, Dick Vitale, and let's bring in the third member of our team tonight, Jeff Goodman.
As Dick said, the loss of Chain Bohannon really affecting Louisville, especially on the glass. He was dismissed from the team just after Christmas. Following that loss to Kentucky, I talked to Chain earlier in the week. He's down right now with John Lucas, the former NBA coach, rehabbing both on and off the court. He said he hopes to have a decision this week whether he'll transfer to another school or turn pro. Guys, look for him to probably turn pro. He's got about 3/4 of a year of eligibility left.
All right, Jeff, thank you. Just mentioned a very big loss. And this had been going on for a while. Rick Pitino had given him opportunity after opportunity, and Bohannon just couldn't do what he needed to do.
You know, Dan, number one, he's talking about turning pro. It shouldn't even be on his mindset. His mindset should be really about solving his dilemma and his problem away from basketball. And that is his number one priority if he wants to get himself on the right road to recovery.
And all Louisville is saying is repeated violations of university policy. Rozier takes a bump, keeps on going.
He's really played well for him. He's only turned the ball over about 6 times. It's like almost a 4-to-1 ratio.
Even more, he had 28 assists, 6 turnovers. The freshman from Youngstown. And Jones finds Harrell for the slam. And again, as we mentioned, especially with Bohannon gone, if Louisville's going to have a great season, Harrell's got to have a great season.
Absolutely. Jeff asked Rick that before the game, and I thought it was a great question because I think Harrell's got to be much more productive offensively. I really do. When a guy has that kind of ability, same with the kid down in Kentucky, Willie Cauley-Stein, I think he's got to be a little bit more aggressive offensively.
Blackshear keeps Johnson in front of him. Now Nichols with a long jumper. And Louisville down with the rebound. Blackshear has been active at both ends of the floor in the early going.
What he's going to have to be now, without Bohannon, they need some rebounding. I think a key player also, a guy that comes off the bench, Hancock, making shots. He looks like he's now, they say, 100%.
From the Achilles problem that bothered him earlier in the season. Well, Saturday, we're going to be at this one as well. We're going to go up and see about 30,000 people in the Carrier Dome as the second-ranked Orange host the up and down, to say the least, North Carolina Tar Heels. It's part of ESPN's journey to the tourney. Carolina and the Cuse Saturday at noon.
The question is, what team will we see in North Carolina? The team that beat Louisville? The team that beat Kentucky? The team that beat Michigan State? Or will we see the team that got beat with the zone of Miami? Talk about a zone. They're going to see an unbelievable zone when they see Syracuse, who I think right now might be the best team in America.
I'll tell you,
that backcourts were playing great.
Ennis and Cooney, I'll tell you, Roy Williams would love to know in advance which team's going to show up, but he doesn't have any better feel. Nobody knows right now which team's going to show up.
In their 5 losses, Dan, their 5 losses in research and preparing for the game, they have shot 50% on the free throw line.
Second foul on Chris Crawford. He's gone to the bench. Michael Dixon Jr., the transfer from Missouri, is into the game right now for Memphis. They have 4 senior guards.
They're playing the zone right now. Defense, we're going to make them shoot the 3.
Johnson, no. And skying for the rebound is Harrell.
Harrell's got that great lift.
Look at Van Treese running the floor, but he couldn't finish.
Never got control of the ball.
And a great steal.
That's a layup city right there.
Rozier with a basketball version of a pick 6. Just nobody near him as he took it the other way.
I like to call it pick 6. If you're ready for football, man. Watch out, Mike Tirico. Here comes Showman. He wants football.
No, Mike is the master.
He does a terrific job in anything he does. He's a Syracuse grad.
That's right.
One of the greats they've had up there.
Yeah, along with Dan Dockage, anchors our Big Ten coverage here. Goodwin, will it count? Yes, it will. Shaq Goodwin with a lot of English to get the roll and draw the foul.
You know, he's a guy with good body control inside, good hands. We're going to watch this right now as he slices. He steps right in the gap. There's a little 2-man game. Great body control to make that happen. And then he plays a little like a referee, wants to be a zebra. There he is right now. He's going to say, yeah, count it.
Harrell with the foul, his first. Goodwin doesn't score a ton, but he is so efficient. Look at that field goal percentage, 66%. Look at the improvement from last year to this year for the sophomore from Atlanta, and he's often giving up size in the matchup up front.
See, I think the perimeter people got to look a little bit more on the interior, go a little bit more inside-outside than rather to go outside-inside.
Here's some size as Goodwin sits down at 6'9", 240, and Dominic Woodson at 6'10", 300. Freshman from Round Rock, Texas is in there right now, along with David Pelham, who's really recovered from his knee surgery and has given them a ton of production and energy off the bench.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, Woodson was out real early on the court. Got a carry. Got a carry right there, no doubt. Now, look, he may get away with that in the NBA, but he's not getting away with that here.
Boy, Louisville usually so good at not turning the ball over. That's their third so far. Memphis has coughed it up twice as Rozier goes to the bench.
It's the third game they're playing without Mahannon. Struggled down there at Rutgers. Russ Smith had probably his worst game of the year.
But they got to the free throw line 46 times and made 41 of them in the win over the Scarlet Knights. 2-0 in the league, and both of them are road wins, and that's not to be taken lightly. Look at UConn going down and losing twice to SMU and to Houston on the road in American Conference play.
You better be able to protect your home court. That's why it was a big, big win in the toughest conference of them all, the Big Ten. Michigan State surviving that comeback by the Buckeyes.
Going to be interesting to see tonight, the second game of our doubleheader, Arizona going to UCLA. It's going to be a very tough test for the #1 team in the country. Smith with a drive, and Woodson got a piece of it.
Well, Woodson's size created a problem there. Takes up a lot of space.
Dixon tied up, and that's going to turn it over to Louisville.
Tell you one thing about Dixon. Now, I've watched him. Maybe I'm not a fair judge because I haven't seen a whole lot. This Woodson's size creates a problem right there. Maybe it's me, Dan, but watching Dixon, he doesn't seem to be the player I saw in Missouri. Maybe that's just my observation in the games I've seen him. But in Missouri, he just seemed to be more free and easy, making shots a lot easier. What about you?
And a real agitator and pest on defense, too. I mean, he was really mixing it up all the time. He's the sixth man for Memphis. He's a valuable player, but I agree with you. He doesn't seem to be quite the same as he was 2 years ago. Sometimes taking a year off can do that to a guy. Now Hancock drives and will draw the fouls. We go to the under 12 media timeout. Memphis continues to lead here on the road. Welcome back here to Louisville, Kentucky. Dan Shulman and Dick Vitale, Jeff Goodman. Thursday night showcase presented by Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. This is, if you're not familiar, the first year of the American Athletic Conference featuring Louisville, Connecticut, Memphis, Cincinnati, and others. And it's the Bearcats. Mick Cronin's team is off to a great start, 3-0 in the league. Houston is 2-1, including a win over Connecticut. The Huskies have fallen out of the rankings. They're 0-2 in the league. What do you think of this league?
Well, you know, there's some quality basketball teams in the league. I think when you look at Larry Brown getting that win, he was excited as heck, getting that first real signature win, beating Connecticut. But, you know, the landscape of college basketball has changed so drastically, it's difficult to really comprehend all the matchups. We hope that this matchup doesn't end because they're changing leagues, just like Georgetown Syracuse. I hope that continues. And I told Rick Bosich earlier tonight, I think it's absolutely sad that two guys are denying the chance of Indiana, Kentucky to play. There's only two guys that control that, Tom Crean and John Calipari. And they should play because the fans want it, the players want it, everybody wants it, and you can't allow egos to be bigger than the programs.
Back to the Memphis Louisville rivalry as Jones misses the three. So Louisville's leaving the conference after this year. Memphis is staying. They won't play next year, but they have said they're going to start a home-and-home matchup that will start here in 2 years. These programs have played each other a lot. This is the 88th meeting. Memphis has only played one school more than Louisville. That is Southern Miss. Louisville's only played one school more than Memphis. That's Cincinnati. And it's great to see that this rivalry will continue even though Louisville's leaving the conference.
Right, I agree with you. You know, think about it. They go back to the days of the Metro Conference and obviously Conference USA.
Missouri Valley.
Missouri Valley, yeah. It's unbelievable. Had some great players over those years.
Dixon, a no-look pass. Woodson couldn't handle, and back comes Louisville. You mentioned the signature win, that phrase a little bit before. The Cardinals don't have one of those yet this year.
Not really yet. Now let me ask you this. Would this be classified as a signature win?
I think it's an important, don't you think it's a very important game for Louisville? At
Absolutely.
home, playing a ranked team, sticking with it, Van Treese to get it back within 2. As you said, you got to protect home court.
You really do. You got to win on your home court if your goal is to win the league championship. They're going to zone. They're going to make him shoot it over the top.
Jackson quiet so far. Switches hands, a beautiful left-handed layup.
That was terrific. He took the ball right at the basket, got in the gap of the zone. He said, I'm not going to shoot over the top. I'm going to attack.
He's going to wind up with better than 1,500 points and 500 assists in his career, the senior from Memphis.
They say the matchups are unbelievable on a high school level between he and Mr. Jones. And you better believe they're playing for little bragging rights here.
Jackson 1 year older. Turnaround, and Hancock is getting there. Game by game, week by week.
He can pass the ball as well. Rick was telling us before the game, he makes everybody better with his passing skills. But, you know, they don't win that championship last year without his play.
Most outstanding player in the Final Four. An Achilles problem slowed him down at the beginning of this year, but his last 2 games have been 2 of his best games. Great drive and finish by Jaren Johnson.
And that's what he does well. I was talking to him before the game. He was working on shooting a 3. And I said the problem with a lot of young players, Jaren, is the fact that they force people, that people force them to do things they don't want to do. You got to utilize your gift. Your gift is athleticism. Get to the rim.
Nice little shot fake, but then instead of taking the shot, Chris Jones tried to dump it off and turned it over. And that gets Memphis out in transition and will send Dixon to the free throw line.
Got to think about, look at this athletic ability, change the direction. There's that hang time, protect the ball, lay it on a rim. Scoring is really up. And I think they really accomplished what they wanted with the rules. Blowing the whistle a little bit, putting people out of foul line, trying to clean up the game. I'm going to throw a number at you. You're going to go wow when you hear this. 3 teams last year averaged 80 or more points, Dan.
3 teams in the country? That's
it. 36 are averaging 80 or more right now.
Wow.
And the score between 2 teams in a game is 12 points higher than last year.
I think ultimately you'd like to see that scoring stay where it is or maybe even go up a little bit more without so many free throws, though. Once everybody fully adjusts and just have a more free-flowing up and down game.
Absolutely. That would be really the ideal scenario. And obviously also to play a devil's advocate to the numbers, 36 teams up there. They're just getting to league play right now. So some of the totals were against cupcake cities, against guys like Schulman and Vital. Well, you know, it's time to put you in there as well.
Look at some of the games coming up with the family of networks tonight, including #1 Arizona at UCLA after us. Michigan's at Nebraska on ESPN2, and then Northwestern and Iowa on the U. You like Iowa?
I like Iowa a lot. Iowa's very good, but let me tell you, I watched that game with Wisconsin. Wisconsin has such balance. This is by far, in my mind, the best team that Bo Ryan's ever had.
Decker, Gosser, Kaminsky, Brust, so many weapons. Blackshear, tough pull-up. Way long.
Bad shot.
Mathiang with the offensive rebound. Didn't hit the rim. Shot clock didn't reset. Russ Smith knows it. He sees it. He takes it. Kicks it to the corner. Hancock got it.
Great execution. Why? The ball went in the hands of the right guy to shoot the ball. That is called team execution and the team being efficient.
Last year, Smith might not even make that pass to the corner, which led to the pass that set up Hancock.
Yeah, he would have taken a wild shot, hoping to get fouled. It looks like Hancock's back. Hancock, I think, is a different player we saw earlier this year.
Nice cut without the ball, and the finish for Goodwin, the dish to Nichols.
Nice cut, good movement.
Smith stops on a dime. Another good interior feed, and a foul will send Mathiang to the free throw line.
I'm going to tell you the one player they miss, I think, most. When you look at the ball movement right here. Going to kick it out, reverse it, get it to the shooter, and Hancock right there. Nice little pass. Reverse the ball, get it in the hands of a guy that can make the shot. But I'm going to tell you who they miss. I know Siva was certainly important at that point going slump. But I really believe the guy they miss more than ever is the defensive enforcer inside Yang.
Yep.
I think his shot blocking ability gave them a whole different dimension that they don't presently have.
And Zheng's presence allowed all the perimeter guys to gamble and press and do what they do. Here's Mathiang, and he is a work in progress. He's a freshman from Melbourne, Australia, 6'10", only 210. And there's a steal. The reverse not there.
He tried to make a difficult shot.
And they're getting all kinds of opportunities. Rozier will finally finish. Well, Josh Pastner cannot like that on the defensive glass. Johnson challenges Mathiang and draws the foul.
Mathiang's a young kid who's very limited basketball-wise experience. He's going to develop. The one thing about Rick's staff, they will do a great job teaching post moves because, you know, Yang also became a better post player.
Mathiang the foul. Johnson at the free throw line, just 58% on the season. And with guards like this, with their quickness, they're going to spend a lot of time on the free throw line as Crawford comes back into the game with 2 fouls. Dixon will sit down.
See, I'm looking at Johnson right now. One of the things I would tell a young player, you want to tuck that elbow in. His elbow is not tucked in. You got to tuck it in and then elevate on your shot. Tuck it in, elevate. Tuck the elbow in, elevate like you're going up the elevator.
You're the shot doctor.
Shot doctor.
You broke something new out tonight.
Hey, I'm 74 years old. I haven't shot a ball in the last 2 weeks. I go out there, I'll make 8 out of 10.
Hancock the miss. Wide open from the wing. The 3 won't go for Jackson. Offensive rebound. Nichols is having a good night.
He's really playing well. Very effective inside.
Well, you got to get back quickly in this game, though. Hancock's open on the wing again.
Wide open. He's feeling it. He's in a rhythm. He's in a groove. Smith knows that and goes to him.
8 for Hancock as they chant Luke here in Louisville. He is getting better, getting healthier, and looking more and more like the player he was a year ago. Another 3. Jackson the miss. Here comes Louisville. 5 of them charging down the floor. Mathiang was more open than he realized he was.
He spun the wrong way.
Yeah.
He turned the wrong way.
Johnson behind the back, too strong on the shot. Goodwin.
I mean, it's like at the old schoolyard, man. Run, baby, run. Let's play a little hoops. Let's play a little hoops. I like this tempo. I love this tempo. Both these coaches are letting the kids play up and down the floor. Oh, you're going to love that, Danny.
10 for Luke Hancock, and they're loving that here in Louisville as the Cardinals have come back to tie. Timeout taken by Josh Pastner. Will step aside quickly. Smith behind the back, dishing it again. Hancock finishing. Tie game. Hancock having some kind of a night. He's into double figures already. He's knocked down a couple of threes, and he's the biggest reason why Louisville has come back to tie.
Also doing a good job defensively. They're really active. They're making him shoot that 3. Now they're going to back up into that zone. Try to match up out of it.
Can Memphis make an outside shot? So far tonight, they're 1 for 5 from three-point range, so they go inside where Goodwin finishes.
I don't believe they go to Goodwin enough. I think the kid can put a lot more points on that board if they go to him.
Wow, Hancock is feeling it.
Really on fire, man. I just put it up on Twitter. I said, Hancock's on fire.
A dozen, almost half of Louisville's points. The Cardinals have not led, but Hancock has led them back into a tie.
A kid like Joe Jackson, he'd love to see the man so he can use his driving ability.
There's a much-needed three for Chris Crawford.
See, he's the guy you got to match up and find on. You know they struggle shooting the threes with the exception of Crawford. You got to find him and not allow him to shoot the three. Make him put the ball on the floor.
A tie-up on the floor. It'll be Memphis ball when we come back. They'll have to figure out a way, Dickie V, to contain Luke Hancock.
Look at that change. Wow. Change of direction, lays it on the glass.
Got a good one going here in Louisville. Memphis leading the Cardinals 28-25, 5:46 to go in the first half. And what a tournament to remember it was for Luke Hancock, the most outstanding player of the 2013 Final Four, leading the Cardinals to a national championship. And then he was crowned homecoming king of the Cardinals October 19th football game against UCF, edging out his teammate Russ Smith for that prestigious honor. Now, as we mentioned, battled some injuries, Achilles problems, slow start to the season, but he's looking like the Hancock of last season right now.
Well, I think the reason he edged out Smith with those shades, man, he had the Hollywood look there with those shades on. Shooting the ball well tonight's got to feel really good. Look at his numbers versus the rest of the team.
Let's check in with Jeff Goodman.
I talked to Luke yesterday, and he really didn't look good earlier this season against Carolina. He kind of looked like an old man, to be honest, and he admitted that. But over the last week or so, since that Kentucky game, he said he's finally started to feel like the old Luke Hancock, and you can see it tonight. He's playing well, not only offensively, but he's moving much better on the defensive end as well.
And he scored 12 points in less than a 4-minute span right now. And Louisville has needed all of them. The Cardinals' pressure has not really seemed to bother the experienced Memphis guards all that much. Van Treese with a rejection at the rim.
Yeah, great defensive play by Van Treese.
And Louisville turns it over. Goodwin's out ahead of the pack and finishes with authority.
You're not going to stop that. Not going to stop that. He should have a terrific year next year. Second year has improved drastically from last year, from out of Atlanta.
And the The lead is back to 5 in a game in which the Cardinals have never led.
Nice matchup right now. You got Harrell and Goodwin. Talking about two great athletes going head-to-head.
Van Treese will get a lot more minutes with the departure of Bohannon. He's got a real opportunity, the fifth-year senior.
The guy that's got to really step it up, though, without Bohannon is Harrell. Harrell's got to get really active and utilize that unbelievable athleticism he possesses.
First foul on Shaq Goodwin. And Crawford saying, do what Coach told you to do this morning. Get low and slide your feet.
Hey, they want this game. They were absolutely embarrassed at home getting beat like they were. And a 27-game conference win streak came to an end.
Of course, they dominated a Conference USA in recent years, but in the new American Conference, a miss for Hancock. And it was out of bounds to Memphis. Memphis has also had an unusual season. They've played Oklahoma State twice. Got blown out the first time, came back and beat them the second time.
Oklahoma State lost the other day to a hot Kansas State team, but they lost two of their players in their rotation. Coggins had an injury, a shot blocker, and they lost the kid Clark. Some off-the-court problems.
K-State going to play Kansas coming up in a few days. Always a great rivalry game.
That Bruce Weber found a nice place for him. Sometimes a little divorce, a change of action is good for everybody involved. What about the hurt Wisconsin gave to Illinois?
Wisconsin still undefeated, one of the top teams in the country. Pull up too strong for Jackson. Rebound down to Harrell.
You'd love to see man-to-man these two guys go head-to-head. Jackson and Smith.
Yeah, two of the quickest guards in America.
He just went right by him. Nice little pass. He's passed the ball so much better this year than last year.
Still loose. Memphis ball. Well, that's a missed opportunity there, except Memphis gives it right back to them. And still they can't convert. 3 cracks at it from point-blank range. Jackson high off the glass, and the lead grows to 7.
I really like Joe Jackson. Really fun to watch play. Plays with a lot of emotion, intensity, has a lot of passion.
Largest lead of the night for Memphis. Michael Dixon clapping his hands with enthusiasm. Back on D, the Tigers giving Louisville everything they can handle. Smith got it.
He's a difference maker. He's a big shot maker when they need one. Josh Pasta loves the tempo in this game. Pasta,
of course, was a player at Arizona under Lute Olson when they won.
Wait. Player?
He was.
No. I went out there. Don't tell me he was a player. He was there 8 years.
He was in uniform.
Yeah, he was in uniform.
He was on the bench. He didn't play a lot. There's the finish for Nick King, a 6'7" freshman from where else? Memphis. They've got 8 players on the roster who come from the greater Memphis area.
They really do. Some great high school players in that city.
Backdoor feed. Hancock, Harrell the assist.
Well, you know, he gets an easy layup, but where was the defensive rotation from the help side? Nobody rotated over. You know, Josh learned so much from Lute Olson, who helped him tremendously.
And John Calipari as well.
Two guys gave him a great opportunity, took advantage of it.
Lob inside, knocked away by Van Treese. He's given Rick Pitino some quality minutes. Rozier.
He's been very productive for them. He's getting better and better, more in the comfort zone, and the minutes are going up that he's playing.
Nice little 3-man backcourt they can use with 2 of them in there at all times, Smith, Rozier, and Jones. Dixon with the drive and the high arcing layup.
That's the Dixon we watched at Missouri. Who, by the way, what about congratulations and also sympathies out to Mark Fox, that emotional win over Missouri a day or 2 after losing his dad.
Passed, yep.
Dad passed. Mark, we send our sympathy out to you. Great win. The kids played with their hearts.
You can see the emotion both from Coach Fox and the kids after that game was over.
You know what made it unbelievable? They were 0-6 on the road, Georgia, and Missouri had the longest win streak in the nation, 27 in a row at home.
Got a good one here in Louisville. Terry Rozier from the wing knocking down to 3, but then Michael Dixon passed up the shot, said, I'm going to lay it in for 2, and Memphis continues to lead.
The coach back here in studio, filling in with the Mazda halftime report. We've got some ACC action. Florida State, Clemson getting after it on a Thursday night. Also, our second game tonight, it doesn't get any better than this. Number 1 Arizona on the road, UCLA, a full preview. Bruce Pearl and myself. See you in just a couple of minutes, guys.
Coach is almost as fired up as you are. Back in the
they're all
studio.
fired up, man.
We're fired up for a great doubleheader on Saturday. North Carolina and Syracuse, a crowd in excess of 30,000 is expected up at the Carrier Dome. And then at 2 Eastern, K-State and Kansas. Andrew Wiggins about 15 points per game. Some ups and downs, some good games, some games where people are saying, hey, is there more there? It's something he's going to have to get used to. People look at the talent and they say, more.
Absolutely. Well, yesterday put 90 points on the board. What would be the odds, you would say, Kansas scores 90 and Wiggins doesn't score double figures?
3-point lead, Memphis over Louisville with Dick Vitale, Jeff Goodman. I'm Dan Schulman. Thursday night showcase here. The American Conference, and 2 of the teams expected to contend for the league championship this year. 10 teams in the conference, so a full home and home, a double round robin, 18-game league schedule. Jackson for 3. Memphis 2 for 7 now from beyond the arc. Louisville's 4 for 8.
Then I rotated into a man-to-man right there. Jackson should have taken advantage of it with his quickness instead of trying to shoot the 3.
Cardinals bench has been great. They've got 23 of the 33 points. Of course, Hancock has 14 of them. Harrell. Tip back up, no good. More missed opportunities around the rim for the Cardinals. But look at that effort by Smith. And Mathiang will draw the foul.
Tell you one thing, Smith's made some great passes that he's come up empty to club, not being able to convert. He is really passing the ball well. Played at Archbishop Malloy in New York, one of the great high schools for basketball. Jack Curran was unbelievable as a coach there for years.
You're right. He's got 2 assists. He could have 5 or 6 in this
right
game.
there. Look at it right there. Another great dish. Guys are bobbling the ball. Got to have hands, Danny. Got to have hands.
And it is not a shooting foul. 34.8 to go. Shot clock is turned off here as we near the end of the first half. Harrell. Kept alive again, but over the backboard. And it will stay with the Cardinals. Now they're going to hold it for 1 shot. And Chris Jones just went over to Harrell and said, no shot clock. Let's hold it.
So he was wide open, though. He had a little 12-footer. You got to be able to make that shot.
And that's a part of his game that is still a work in progress.
It's like a guy that hits 210 every year, barely gets to the Mendoza line. He practices and practices, and it's all said and done. Usually hits 210. I spread it in the court, little 1-4.
Tim Henderson into the game, a good shooter, a guy who's just put on scholarship this semester after 3.5 years as a walk-on.
They don't beat Wichita State without him coming off the bench and knocking down 2 major threes.
Rick Pitino told us his nickname here locally is Wichita. Jones looking for the foul, doesn't get the call. Mathiang, they got to get a shot off here in a hurry.
Not the shot you wanted. Not the shot you wanted. Poor job executing right there. Last shot situation, really a poor job.
Memphis never trailed, and they made 10 of their last 17 in the half to take a 3-point lead into the break here in Louisville. Looking for a big road win. Rick Pitino and the Cardinals looking for really their first signature win. They have not beaten a real high-end team so far this year. Josh Pastner, the coach of the Tigers, just sidling up to Jeff Goodman even as we speak. Take it away, Jeff.
Josh, you said you needed to make shots in the first half. You really didn't do it, but you come out with a lead, coming out. What do you like about the way you played?
Well, Jeff, we just got to make some threes. They made their threes. Man, Luke Hancock, he finally gets hot against us. Couldn't he wait until Saturday? But, our big guys are really doing a good job. Our guards are doing a good job defensively, but we got to make some threes. We just got to make a couple threes to stretch the lead.
How happy are you with the way you played against Russ Smith, Chris Jones? You didn't let them get into the seam and make plays.
Yeah, no, we've done a good job defensively. We've done a good job on the glass. But Luke's gone off, but hey, he's the most outstanding player. You know what I mean? He was like you back in the day,
Thanks, Josh.
All right, Jeff, thank you. 3-point lead for Pastner's Tigers over Louisville at the half. Time now to head back to the studio. Jonathan Coachman and Bruce Pearl.
Dan, Dick, thank you so much. We're all set to go. The Mazda halftime report. Let's jump right into it. No Marshall Henderson tonight. Ole Miss, Auburn, a little SEC action. There he is. And it's good to see him back, though.
He's paid the penalty.
Yep.
And they're not as good without him. They miss his 19 points, and they miss the spacing they give him because you got to guard him.
This game right now over on ESPN2. Martavius Newby there later in the first. Auburn down by 4. KT Harrell. Long three. Bang! Auburn trails by 3, and then Harrell again stepping into it. Right now, Ole Miss up by 3, approaching halftime there on the Deuce. All right, other Auburn news on the gridiron. How good was Trey Mason this year? Real good. Now he's leaving Auburn. He's going to the NFL. He broke Bo Jackson's all-time record.
You're going to get hit like that, you better get paid.
He's going to get paid. Over 1,800 yards this year on the gridirons. They were the runner-up in the BCS. Welcome back into the studio, Bruce Pearl, Jonathan Coachman. A big night here on ESPN and a very good first half. How was Memphis ever able to go into the KFC Center and come out with a lead at halftime?
Tempo. They are absolutely controlling tempo. You thought this game was going to be a track meet, right? Up and down. Both teams are so worried about the other team's transition that they're playing really conservatively. I think Memphis is also doing a great job of getting paint touches. Here they run a little side ball screen action, and Shaq Goodwin's going to come over, get one for Joe Jackson. He's going to roll to the basket. Coach, that's a tough finish by the sophomore. One of the most improved players in the country, Shaq Goodwin. And then Jerron Johnson, the double high ball screen, change of pace, change of tempo, change of direction, a strong finish. Josh Pastor talked about the fact that they wanted to make more three balls. He was concerned about that. I don't know about that. I like this game plan he's got right now of attacking the rim, and Chris Crawford's, he's his best shooter. He's made 2 so far. Memphis has played a tough schedule. They look calm and comfortable.
And it seems like Louisville's going to have to figure out how to play without Bohannon, kind of guarding the rim. He's gone. He's not coming back. This is the team they're going forward with.
And they need this one more than Memphis does.
No doubt. It's January, baby. All right, let's go to the ACC. Florida State, Clemson, squaring off. Let's go first half. Florida State in transition. We got Florida State and Auburn in the same night after the football season they had. Not bad.
Well, these two teams are both battling for an upper division finish in the ACC. Florida State, very long, very big.
All right, ugly first half, though. Florida State up by 5, 21-16. All right, our big one coming up at 9 Eastern. We got a full preview. Number 1, Arizona. Pauly next.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you gotta get DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV. And Wendy's, proud sponsor of the 2014 John R. Wooden Men's Player of the Year Award. Welcome back to the Mazda Halftime Report.
All right, Bruce Pearl and the coach back with you. How about Aaron Gordon, young freshman, all set to go? Doesn't look like he has a care in the world. Tonight is #1 Arizona Wildcats, Pauley Pavilion. Tip-off a little bit over an hour away. Let's look at the Arizona keys. Let's start with them, Bruce Pearl.
Well, Arizona, they can run the fast break as well as UCLA, and they do a great job of getting closer to the basket. Here, Ashley finds Taraszewski. Every one of these highlights, you're going to see Arizona getting it closer to the rim. They're going to see a lot of 3-3 zone. You've got to get it to the high post and the free throw line, and you got to ball screen it. Here, you'll see Aaron Gordon flash. There's the catch. He can go inside out to the 3-ball, or instead, he's going to dump it down in there to his teammate. And again, Taraszewski, the recipient of a very high percentage shot. Arizona does a great job of making the extra pass in the zone. The other thing you like to do against a zone is ball screen it. People think it's just for man. Here's the ball screen. Pinch. Get it to the weak side and watch Ashley smash on the post. That's really deep penetration. Arizona's got big offensive rebounding around the basket. That's what they're going to do. For the Bruins, it's all about transition. Average over 25 points a game in transition, second best in the nation behind BYU. Now watch the highlighted players for UCLA. 5 guys all out there taking off. Run hard without the basketball. And then at the end, 2 USC defenders against 5 UCLA guys. Mismatch. Jordan Adams from 3. But the key to the fast break is Kyle Anderson. He's the country's #1 triple-double threat. He has got 105 defensive rebounds right there. When he gets it, you've got to stop him right there. You've got to jam him. You've got to take the ball out of his hands. Instead, the easy feed inside to Travis Ware. Now somebody else is going to get a rebound here. Guess what? They're going to find Kyle Anderson. Ware gets it. They clear the zone, outlet, and then watch him get deep. Coach, you can't let him get this deep. USC, they collapse. And again, Jordan Adams for 3, averaging 18.5. That is what UCLA does as well as anybody in the country.
UCLA 14 straight home wins. So what does Arizona need to do tonight to win, stay #1?
Stop transition, make UCLA beat them in a half court. Be physical, play Arizona basketball, and be able to attack that 2-3 zone, and they'll stay #1.
It's going to be a big game. It's going to be fun.
Excited about it.
Can't wait. We'll be sitting right here for it. Bill Walton talking to Nick Johnson. What are you going to do tonight? We're back.
This halftime report is presented by Mazda. It takes conviction, creativity, and courage to build cars worth driving. This is the Mazda way. What do you drive? This halftime report is presented by Mazda. It takes conviction, creativity, and courage to build cars worth driving. This is the Mazda way. What do you drive?
All right, you want to download the brand new SportsCenter app? If you do, you got the very latest on Lane Kiffin. Where could he land? The Redskins, they've got a new head coach, and Penn State likely has their new head man now. The brand new SportsCenter app. And me on Twitter, too. That's always a good thing. Shaq Goodwin, he's good. Memphis is good. Enjoy the second half from the KFC Yo Center. Later.
Welcome back to the Thursday Night Showcase presented by Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, a part of the American Conference on ESPN. Welcome to Louisville, Kentucky with Dick Vitale. I'm Dave Schulman. The Memphis Tigers with a 3-point lead over Louisville as we get ready for the start of the second half. We talked about how Memphis has not shot the three well. They're not shooting it well tonight, but they're getting the ball inside, and they've been very good in the paint.
Yeah, they really have been, and certainly Goodwin's been effective, and Nichols as well. I think they got to go into the interior a little bit more because they're a suspect shooting team, shooting the three. Very streaky, but they're getting the ball in the lane. Nichols was very effective early in the game. Goodwin had some great acrobatic moves to the basket. Johnson with a tremendous drive, taking the ball up strong. There's Nichols again, working around the glass. I like the way they're attacking the rim.
And that's why they're shooting almost 50% from the floor in the first half, and they've been very, very effective inside. Goodwin, especially Crawford, has made the only 2 threes that Memphis made in the first half. Luke Hancock, looking like the Luke Hancock of last year's NCAA tournament. A game-high 14 off the bench for the Cardinals, but Russ Smith played better than the numbers suggest, passed the ball a lot and very well. His teammates couldn't convert, or he would have more than just the 2 assists, but just 1 for 6 from the floor, 5 points for Russ Smith.
I'll tell you again, it was real quiet in the 10 minutes he played. From Memphis, Mr. Jones. Mr. Jones was 0 for 3, very silent, played only 10 minutes.
Louisville with the first possession. They have not led at any point in this game. Elbow jumper is there for Harrell.
That is really a plus. If he can start making that jump shot, That would really take and elevate his game. Run a little full court trap. Pressure on the ball.
Turnovers relatively low for both teams, or at least in the normal range. 7 for Memphis, 6 for Louisville, so that wasn't a huge factor in the first half.
A little matchup right there was Jackson and Jones going right head-to-head. You got to watch out that they don't try to go one-on-one with each other and get away from the team concept.
Two guys who are both from Memphis, played against each other extensively in high school. Here's Johnson flying down the court. Jackson pulls up, in and out. Nichols keeps it alive, and it's Memphis ball.
Hey, one thing, Johnson plays so hard, very intense. It's aggressive.
Goodwin surrounded, gets rid of it.
Jones also very close in terms of friendship with Crawford. They remain very, very tight.
Here's Johnson. Down to 10 on the shot clock. Guarded by Smith. Open in the corner, Crawford.
A lot of patience on offense right there. Had a good screen from the offside.
Jones hands off to Smith.
I think Smith's getting a little bit too unselfish. I really do. You don't want to take away from his great strength was his ability to go to the ball. That was out of range.
Yeah, Hancock starting the second half after coming off the bench in the first half. He's in Blackshear's spot.
Shot that from down in Lexington. As I saw right now, they're trying to pack it into the inside.
Goodwin double team, gives it up. Crawford will try it from this corner, his third 3 of the game.
You know, all 3 that he's made, he's been wide open. And there's no way with the scouting report and the analysis they do, when you go on and board inside, talk about him being their real primary shooter from the 3. You got to get in his face.
He's 35% from beyond the arc, and that's the best of the 4 guards.
And that 3 is so vital to your club. Struggle doing that, really creates a nightmare for you.
Smith, did he keep the dribble alive? No, he did not. Double dribble is the call, and a good one.
Really good call, no doubt about that.
And Rick Pitino doesn't like what he sees in the early going. The Crawford 3, and it's a timeout for the Cardinals. Now, the big news in Louisville today is not just this basketball game. It's that Bobby Petrino is back, has been rehired as the football coach here in Louisville. This stunned some people.
Absolutely, I tell you, I was really amazed with the hire. I know one. You think about guys like Terry Miners on radio here, and certainly Matt Jones on radio. The talk shows with all kinds of info. My personal feeling, I think this. Obviously, winning is vital and winning is important. The man will win. But when you look at some of his unbelievable transgressions, when you think about the fact of the infidelity down in Arkansas, you think about many other problems that he was involved in terms of lying about meeting with certain people, etc. It really amazes me. But the emphasis, obviously, win, win, win. And the bottom line, Dan, he will win. And I will say this. We are in a country where you give people second chances. Let's hope he takes advantage of the golden opportunity that Tom Jurich has given him, because he has got himself a great situation and getting over $3 million a year when he had no leverage whatsoever, yet they're paying him top dollar for 7 years. He better take advantage of it.
Pass tipped out of bounds. It'll stay with the Cardinals. They certainly won a lot when he was here the first time.
He's a winner everywhere he's been. He's put W's on the board. But remember this, you're supposed to be a college which deals with morality and many other issues with their athletes. The message you're sending is loud and clear. Win, win, win.
Smith with an air ball, but a good hustle play by Harrell to knock it out of bounds off Goodwin, so Louisville retains possession. And now Van Treese is going to check into the game. And Mathiang will sit down.
This is a real important game for Louisville. As you said earlier, and you said it well, they haven't had a signature win. You're playing a nationally ranked team in the league on your floor. You've got to be able to convert and get a W here.
Great up and under by Hancock, but he missed the shot. And it's going to be Louisville ball again. The two losses for the Cardinals are to North Carolina. That was up at the Mohegan Sun in Connecticut, a neutral court, and then they lost at Kentucky.
Oh, Kentucky. They play basketball down there?
They do.
Oh, I thought that was a football school. They're having a great recruiting year in football. They were great in the second half last night against Mississippi State. First half was a no-show. The
runner for Smith to make it a two-point game, just the second field goal of the night for Russ Smith.
He has not been looking for his shot. He really hasn't. If you look at trying to pass the ball, I think he's trying to please people, the 20 NBA scouts here. I can be a point guard, and you better just forget about that and be Russ Smith and be the guard that can take that ball to the goal.
And a foul on Nichols, I believe. Smith's assists have gone from just under 3 a game last year to just under 5 a game this year.
That's what he does really well, driving the ball to the basket, putting points in the book. He's a scorer. He's a guy with a scorer's mentality. He's had a terrific collegiate career.
Scoring's a little bit down, but that's because he's taking fewer shots. You can see his field goal percentage is up, and his assists are way up. His assist-to-turnover ratio is way up, and there's no doubt when you ask Rick Pitino, he says he's a better player this year than he was last year. Jones trying to go coast to coast. Off the front of the iron, and back come the Tigers, always looking to run.
Jones has not been effective today like we've seen him in the past. He's been much more productive than we've witnessed here tonight.
Jackson, step-back jumper, a little bit short.
Great rebound right there by Harrell. Getting out in transition.
Here goes Smith.
There goes Smith. That's what he does well. He must have heard us. Attack the rim. Be Russell Smith.
And a steal.
How to get the place alive. Oh, White. Oh, he hesitated.
Looking for the foul. Didn't get the call.
Oh, there's a foul right there.
And Chris Jones will commit the foul. The crowd booing the lack of a foul call when Hancock got his man in the air.
Take a look right here. Run, baby, run. Here goes Russ from out of New York City. Yes, he's going to show like he played on the playgrounds in the city, baby. I mean, he's with the score. Protects the ball really well. The All-American, Russ Smith.
Got another big-time game coming your way immediately after this one. The #1 team of the nation, the Arizona Wildcats, are at the Pauley Pavilion to take on the UCLA Bruins. The only regular season meeting this year between the Wildcats and the Bruins, and there's some talent on both sides. Nick Johnson does everything for Arizona. And speaking of a guy who does everything, look at those numbers. The points, the rebounds, and the assists for Kyle Anderson. As unique a skill set as there is in college basketball.
Well, I said tonight with John Anderson on SportsCenter, he's a mini version, certainly not a Magic Johnson, but a 6'9" guy that can pass the ball, play on the perimeter, and now he can make shots.
Yep.
I like Johnson, but I like his running mate as well, McConnell.
Hey, Louisville has stepped it up here, the intensity coming out of the timeout.
Shot.
Yep.
They went to a half-court trap.
And it paid off.
Now Rick Pitino can motivate. He can absolutely motivate. They got to get Jones going a little bit.
Jones keeps bumping into people and looking for foul calls that he hasn't been getting. Look at Russ Smith. The kick to Hancock, and this time he will get the foul call.
He has that great hesitation that creates that foul opportunity to go to the free throw line. You know, he's a transfer. He's a Marco Polo guy. Came the way of George Mason. There it is. I think the best. Look at that pass right there by Smith. Now watch the hesitation on the shot. See the little pump fake, kids? Use that pump fake. And then he creates the foul. I think the best player, Marco Polo, in the country right now, if I had to go 1-2, number one, I would go DeAndre Kane from down in Iowa State, has been superb. The other day had 39-8 against Baylor. And my second would be Rodney Hood at Duke.
First lead of the night for Louisville on that free throw make by Hancock, who's having a big-time night.
And the reason Hancock and Smith, both guys really stepping up, the experienced players. They got rings, they're national champs. Look at Harold there cheering as well, getting emotionally involved.
You know, another guy we haven't mentioned yet tonight, Kevin Ware, is not going to play the rest of the season. That leg just never got right. And at the end of the year, Louisville is going to petition for a medical red shirt for Ware.
I hope he gets it too. Really deserves it. Anyway, playing now a little matchup.
And Dixon fouled by Hancock. That's a tough matchup for Hancock as we check in with Jeff Goodman.
Yeah, I talked to Kevin Ware just before the game, and he was frustrated. They got an MRI back earlier today, and he said he's got a bursa sac. He was hit in the leg, the same leg that he broke last March a few weeks ago, and he's been out ever since. But he feels good about the fact that this was not a full season. He'll get a chance to get completely healthy and come back next year.
And that's great news. It'd be great to see him back and get another chance to play a full season as Woodson draws the foul.
And I hope the NCAA doesn't procrastinate in declaring him eligible like they're procrastinating in the case of Chris Walker down in Florida. I don't know how long it takes to make a decision on eligibility. I said yesterday on a media conference call, you know, it's not finding a cure for cancer. I mean, come on now, guys. Make a decision. You're affecting people's lives. Players, coaches, fans.
Hancock picks up 2 quick fouls, his second and third, so he goes to the bench. Blackshear back in.
That's a big loss. He can't sit in that pine too long. Playing Cincinnati and Louisville back-to-back certainly is big for Memphis, and it would be a major win after losing at home to Cincinnati. Kilpatrick's really playing well in many phases of the game, not just shooting it for the Bearcats.
And we'll see another American Conference game next week, the first game of the year for game day, 1 week from Saturday. It'll be Louisville at Connecticut.
That's right, we're going down there. Connecticut, right. They had a win last night over a really good Harvard basketball team. Napier was great at the end of the game.
Beat it by 5. Dixon called for the foul. Goodwin back in for Woodson. And that's the 3rd foul on Dixon. So 2 of the senior guards for Memphis, each with 3 fouls. Better than 14 to go.
I don't think Jones is in the book yet. Is he in the book of the score?
Has not scored yet in this game. 0 for 5. 0 for 6, but Harrell's there to follow it.
And that's what we need out of Harrell. His offensive rebounding ability. Get up on that rim. Get on the glass. You know, Jones originally committed to play for Bruce Pearl at Tennessee before going to junior college. And by the way, if guys like Petrino and them can coach, Bruce Pearl should be back coaching. He should be get that waiver off there and should be allowed to coach.
8-0 run, Cardinals. And it's really started at this end of the floor. Great intensity here in the second half. Tough runner for Dixon to cut it down to a 2-point game.
That's the kind of shots he made when he played for Mizzou. Down there in Missouri, made big play after big play for Frank Hate's team.
Van Treese. Harrell wanted it inside, now back out to Jones. Bounce pass and a beauty and another slam for Harrell.
That's just terrific basketball. That's a team concept, and that's why you win championships, Danny Schulman. That's how you win titles. Come on, Danny.
Dixon loses it.
I'll tell you what, Van Treese has made some good plays in this game.
The lob.
No, it wasn't there. He tried to force that.
That was Smith turning it over, and back comes Memphis and Crawford just trying to calm people down now.
Oh, he caught an elbow.
Yes, he did, and Roger Ayers saw it. He got that left arm out there.
He thought maybe he's getting away with it. He turned around looking for the official, was hoping that he missed it.
And that's the 4th foul on Chris Crawford.
Oh, there's no doubt about it there. Mr. Crawford is nailed. And I'm not talking Carl Crawford. Hey, what did you think about the Baseball Hall of Fame? I want to ask you, you're a guru.
Well, you got to feel bad for Biggio being 2 votes away, but he'll get in next year. You know that.
I think that he belongs in. I think Piazza belongs in, and Jack Morris.
I think Tim Raines belongs in.
I mean,
this was an unbelievable ballot. And sometimes a lot of writers, I'm sure, voted for 10 people, wanted to vote for more, so it cost some people some votes.
I saw the Big Hurt make his debut in the Florida State League when he was a former tight end at Auburn.
Jackson.
Nice drive. Great drive.
Yep. Left-handed lay-in after the Euro step by Jackson, and it's a 2-point game. How about next year? Randy Johnson, John Smoltz, Pedro Martinez. They're all on the ballot as well, right?
They're automatic, those 3, and they better make sure Biggio gets in. Son played baseball at Notre Dame.
8 minutes into the second half, Louisville leading Memphis by 2. Hancock on the bench for Louisville with 3. Crawford on the bench for Memphis with 4.
Trying to get that big screen. Look at the big wide body up there.
Smith, no. Johnson soars for the rebound, but Harrell is called for the foul. He said he just knocked the ball away, but he gets called for the foul to take us to a timeout.
Take a look right there. There's Jam City by Mr. Harrell. And then we're going to see this right here. Good offensive rebound. No slam, jam, bam. They need it here in Louisville. They need this win badly.
Hey, tomorrow night it's NBA Friday presented by State Farm. A doubleheader beginning with the Heat taking on the Nets, and then at 10:30 Eastern, the Battle of Los Angeles, the Lakers and the Clippers. Coverage tips at 7:30 Eastern with Kia NBA Countdown.
Boy, I hope to see Kobe back. Certainly want to see back Chris Paul. Boy, I have a problem, though, with Mr. Rodman and those NBA guys don't want to play in North Korea. Yeah. I think it's an embarrassment and humiliation to go out there and perform and sing happy birthday to a ruthless dictator. Dennis, shame on you.
Well said. 2-point lead, Louisville over Memphis, 11:40 to go. Dan Schulman, Dick Vitale, Jeff Goodman here in Louisville, Kentucky. American Conference action in a game in which Memphis led most of the way. Louisville didn't lead at all in the first half. Louisville right now 2-0 in the league. Memphis is 1-1. Count the basket. Score the basket on a goaltend is the call to tie the game. And Harrell's frustrated with the foul call before the timeout and the goaltending call now. And Rick Pitino doesn't like it either, and it hit the glass first. That's the right call.
I think it was a legitimate call, solid call, no doubt whatsoever. These three guys have done a good job here tonight.
Doug Sermons, Don Daly, Roger Ayers.
Little zone right now by Memphis.
No Russ Smith in the game right now for Louisville. Rozier. Johnson keeps it alive. Johnson is very active.
They're not going to be able to play without Russ Smith for some long minutes. Already coming in. He's coming in.
Yeah, he's just come back to the scorer's table right now. Cross-court look. Johnson. Got it!
He was working on that shot right from that area. He must have taken 30. And if you don't believe me, ask our producer, Mr. Mosley. Wasn't he working on it right there? And he had a great tip. Somebody was working with him on tuck the arm in, elevate.
The shot doctor.
Go up the elevator.
And a timeout taken by Rick Pitino. Look how wide open
Wide open, right there, because they know he struggles shooting the ball. I love doing this. It's a lot of fun, man, working with you. I told John Wildhack yesterday, my boss, I said, John, 15 more years. That's all I want. I want to be the first 50-year guy at ESPN, and I want you to present me a beautiful Rolex. Can you put up with me for another
15 more? Let's talk after the game.
Hey, Vince Scully can do 130 games a year, and he's in the 80s. Why can't I do 40 games?
Well, Jaren Johnson just knocked down a three, came into the game at just 19%. Look at how all of their numbers are down from last year, or in Michael Dixon's case, 2 years ago, because he is a transfer from Missouri. He didn't play last year, but especially Joe Jackson from 45 down to 24% this year. But Josh Pastner says, hey, this is how they're going to win. They've got to knock down shots. If they knock down shots, that opens up the drive, opens up the post. They've got to make threes.
Well, Johnson's really not a shooter from out there. He's more of an athletic driver. But the guy Dixon's got to be better than 31%.
He's been streaky. Russ Smith back into the game.
Nobody rotates over. I think one of the real negatives of Memphis defensively, very little rotation from the help side. Oh, he grabbed that ball. It's a double dribble.
Hancock has returned for Louisville as well as Johnson turns it over on the carry.
He can't believe it, but there was no doubt whatsoever. Look at Josh. He works that sideline, very optimistic. Love his attitude. I'll tell you what, he's going to have a tough time having a nice Italian meal after firing his brother-in-law.
That is one of the more unusual stories that we have had recently in college basketball. Frank Matrosano, who was the strength and conditioning coach, is Josh Pastner's brother-in-law. Matrosano and Pastner are married to twin sisters, and they had a difference in philosophy in the last couple of weeks about how Matrosano was going to work with the players, and Pastner fired his brother-in-law. Hancock.
He's stepping a little bit too deep. He's got to get up to that three-point line. That's really interesting. Yeah. Firing your brother-in-law.
And Pastner said there's no deep, dark secret. It was just a difference in philosophy, and Pastner hired Matrosano, and then he met his wife's sister and became his brother-in-law. He didn't hire him as his brother-in-law, but he was his brother-in-law when he fired him.
So I love him, though. I really love him. Stop laughing. Oh, nice curl move. Nice curl move.
Outlet pass from Harrell to Jones.
Oh, doing a nice job.
And a three for Smith to put Louisville back on top.
He's making all the big shots, showing why he's an All-American. He's a difference maker. He's one of those special players.
Nichols, wide open, has a chance for a three-point play.
Lack of communication on the defensive end. Guys wide open. A little slam dunk from Mr. Nichols. Watch this right here, wide open. He's calling for that rock. He's get it to me. Patrice a little bit slow coming over.
Nichols just a freshman. He became a starter this year because David Pelham, who would have been a starter, had arthroscopic knee surgery back at the beginning of the year, and it really sped up Nichols' development this year. Now Pelham is back and healthy and giving them great energy off the bench, although we haven't seen a ton of them here tonight.
You know, you and I saw them against Florida. They were really impressive. Even though they lost that game in the last minute to the Gators, they really were very impressive that night. I like that Gator team, too.
Although Wilbekin suffered an ankle injury again, so such an important part of that team. Tied at 50, 9 minutes to go. Patino, Josh Pastner, both prowling that sideline. Both know the importance of this game within the league.
Whoa! Oh, look at the contact.
Yep. Jackson put the brakes on, and Smith piled right over the top of him.
Talk about quickness, man. These two guys, unbelievable. He sees him coming, so he stops, bump, there's the contact. Hey, Rick Pitino coaching, watch him on that sideline. The intensity. You would think he's trying to prove himself as a coach. Hey, Rick, you're a Hall of Famer, buddy. You're a Hall of Famer.
Hey, when you're talking about a guy who went on a recruiting trip in his first assistant coach's job at Syracuse, the night he got married, because that's what he had to do to get the job, as Nichols slams, you're talking about a guy who's driven and determined.
Guy that really helped him in his career early, Howard Garfinkel. We're all trying, especially Bob Knight, is spearheading a drive to get Howard Garfinkel into the College Hall of Fame where he belongs as a contributor.
Nichols into double figures with 10. Memphis back on top. Smith draws the foul. He has been much more of a factor in terms of scoring the ball here in the second half. Had 5 in the first half. He's already got 9 here in the second half.
Well, he's been dynamite here in the second half. Our guy, Jeff Goodman, talked about it before the game, how he's become a much more complete player. He's really more of a team-oriented, passing the ball better, doing a lot of quality things. Came back to school was the best decision he made.
Let's go to Jeff Goodman.
Yeah, Russ Smith used the word stressed when I talked to him yesterday because he's trying to figure out how to please everybody, how to please the guys upstairs, the NBA scouts, with his decision-making, how to please his coach with obviously playing within the confines of the game and what this team needs, which is him not to think and just do this, score the basketball.
And he can do that, Jeff. He can do that. And number one, he should forget about pleasing the guys up on top. He should just please his coach, his teammates, and himself. And ultimately, that will happen, the evaluation process. I tell you, Russ Smith making one big shot after another.
He's now got 13 in the second half, 18 in the game. As the lead bounces back and forth, Shaq Goodwin goes to the line. Now for Memphis, 6'9" sophomore out of Atlanta.
Free throw line has been a nightmare for so many teams. One we'll see on Saturday, North Carolina. With their 5 losses, it's all been that free throw line that's been a disaster for them.
Missed them both, but got it back. And Harrell and Van Treese combine to knock that ball away. An empty trip for the Tigers.
Goodwin did a great job in second effort getting that ball, but no conversion. Got to make those free throws.
Jackson defending Smith. Hancock. They close out on him in a hurry.
I love the way he catches the ball and he puts it right in shooting position.
And we have seen that shot fake time and time again. He's got that move down to a science, and he's heading to the free throw line when we come back.
All right, the coach back here in studio. We got a good one over on ESPN2. Chris Denson going off. He's got 24 right now. Ole Miss up, though, by 1. Under 7 minutes to go there. Our second game tonight, just over half an hour away. Number 1 Arizona trying to match the best start in school of history. Arizona, UCLA, 30 minutes from right now. Dan, Dick, back to you.
Coach, thank you. Look at this game we got going on here in Louisville. Back and forth most of the night. Louisville tied it a few times in the first half, never took the lead. Memphis led it by as many as 7. Louisville has grabbed the lead on occasion, including now. Here in the second half, they're up 2 in a very big game.
Well, the reason we're up 2, Dan, has been the play of Smith. Smith's made some big shots. You know, Coach was just talking about the UCLA-Arizona game. I wish Coach would find out for us. I hope they sell that place out. Those kids deserve better than 5,000 a night with that UCLA brand. And that's all they've been drawing, Dan.
Not only the brand, but the brand of basketball they're playing right now. I mean, they're a fun team to watch. Scored 107 points against USC on the weekend.
Wow, they blew them out.
Hancock with 17, Smith with 18. So they got 35 of the 55 tonight for Louisville.
And you don't have to go to Harvard to figure it out. That's like 60% of the points.
I love when you do that.
I'm trying to show you I can do a little math.
You are.
I know you were, actually.
Jackson knocks it back down to a 2-point game.
How big is he? I don't care about his size, man. He's big with the rock in his hands. He's got a little swag about him, a little confidence. He was really popular in the city of Memphis as a player. Look at that.
A foul is the call. Now, wait a minute. Is the basket going to count as well? The ball went down and popped back out.
Basket should count.
I don't think they're going to get credit for the basket. I think it's just going to be a 2-shot foul. Yep. The basket will not count.
Wow.
Nobody interfered. See, that's just Hancock's hands, and when the rim snapped back up, the ball came back out.
You're right. Great backdoor cut. Tremendous pass by Howard.
Yeah, well, that's the proper call.
Yeah, it is.
I don't think Hancock knew at that moment that the ball didn't go in.
Well, I thought it went in too, really.
4th foul on Dixon. He'll leave, and Crawford, who has 4, comes back in.
Hey, this is good news for Louisville. Getting the kind of play they're getting out of Hancock. This is a sign that he's healthy. Achilles heel problem.
He knew he missed it as soon as he took it. And he's in the lane early, so it's going to be Memphis ball. What a big difference that would be for Louisville in the second half of the season if Hancock is the player he was last year.
Well, they need his point production. They need a guy to come in, make some baskets, and that's what he's doing. Jones has been so silent tonight. There he is playing hard on the defense, man. Good job right there to get back in front.
And Crawford just kind of kept forcing his way toward the basket and got the shot off.
Got 2 really good friends, too, going at it here.
Saturday, the next game that Dick and I'll have will be up at the Carrier Dome in Syracuse, along with about 30,000 people dressed in orange.
Wow.
As the number 2 ranked and undefeated Syracuse Orange take on the up and down. If you can figure them out, let us know. The North Carolina Tar Heels. They've beaten Louisville. They've beaten Michigan State. They've beaten Kentucky. Can they beat Syracuse?
Well, no, we'll find out. Hey, I also need a ticket. Jimmy Behar, give me a ticket for my beautiful bride. I need 1 ticket. I'll pay you top dollar. He's going to use his power.
What a guy you are, taking Lorraine to all the hots, taking her to Syracuse in January.
I know. Leave a beautiful Sarasota. Don't remind me. Don't remind me.
One of 2.
He's got 4 fouls. I would attack him.
Memphis just 5 out of 12 from the line tonight. That could be the difference in the ballgame.
We've said that so often with teams that go to the loser's locker room, the free throw line being a nightmare.
Jones, floater, got it.
Terry Jones did a great job with the Hancock ball fake. So many young kids out there that are players, work on that when you go outside. Just don't work on shooting jumpers. Work on little ball fakes, little jab step series.
And Josh Pastner wants a timeout.
Got a little bit danger time right now for Memphis. They cannot allow a little spurt by Louisville.
They haven't lost 2 in a row in over 2 years, but it'll be 2 in a row if they lose tonight after the home court loss to Cincinnati. And if they do lose, this is the guy they're going to see in their nightmares, because Russ Smith has been a monster here in the second half.
Well, you know, a lot of teams have seen Russ Smith in their nightmares all through his career. He's been so effective as a Louisville player. Certainly a key reason why they won that national title last year.
So it's largely Hancock in the first half and largely Smith here in the second half, as Louisville is still on top, leading by 4.
You know, Rick was telling us before the game, you think it's nervous on that sideline? He was much more nervous watching last night his son's team play. Penn State pulling it out. They're 13-3.
Minnesota's pretty good, huh?
Minnesota's pretty good. Richard's done a good job. That whole Big Ten. That Big Ten is tough.
Michigan State, Wisconsin, Ohio State.
I love that Michigan State backcourt.
Jackson flips a no-look pass, and it gets picked off.
Lee Jones playing under control. He's not panicking that he didn't have a good game so far. Last possession, he played really well. He's from Memphis, so obviously this is big.
Screened by Van Treese, frees up Jones. And the long rebound to Goodwin, and Memphis with a chance for numbers.
They want to run. They want to get out and run with that basketball.
Johnson misses the 3. Hancock the rebound. You are fortunate against either one of these teams when a fast break opportunity does not result in a basket.
It's great to see the tempo up and down. Still playing with some discipline. There's a little pump fake.
Yep. Time Crawford stayed down. I remember he's got 4. Turnaround Harrell. Boy, if he can add that to his arsenal, he's really going to be a handful.
One thing, he wants the ball a little bit more, a little bit hungrier. Jeff Goodman asked Rick about that today. Jeff doing a good job for us. And there it is. Harrell really got the crowd alive. They're on their feet. They're standing and cheering.
And a hold away from the ball. Harrell's turnaround has given Louisville its largest lead of the night.
There he is posted up on Goodwin. Now a little turn, fade away. He's got the great bounce off the floor. And a nice little rotation right there, too. Look at that rotation. Good backspin. And he feels it. Originally committed to Seth Greenberg down at Virginia Tech. Seth got called the coach at ESPN. And they don't have a team, so Mr. Howell said, I'm going to withdraw to Mr. Patino.
First free throw good for Johnson. Here comes Pelham into the game. Have not seen very much of him at all tonight.
He really played well in the game you and I had against Florida. The Gators, he was really effective.
2 big free throws for Johnson.
Nice rotation on his shot right there. For you kids out there, we're talking about getting that backspin. Don't let that ball get on that palm. Catch and face the goal. Catch, faced. That's what they do really well here. See how they catch, they face. Get triple threat position.
Goodwin has to switch on to Jones. Got to be a mismatch somewhere else as well. And Treese kicks it back to Hancock. Still 12 to shoot.
Now we get down to where really shot selection becomes so big.
And Hancock will head back to the free throw line again.
He wanted a conversion. He's upset with himself that he didn't get the conversion on the layup on the drive. Here he is going to the goal. Use that left hand to get free there.
Used that left hand a couple times to get free.
Yeah.
But not enough to warrant an offensive foul. And he is 5 out of 6, make it 6 out of 7 from the line tonight.
He's one of those guys when he shoots the ball, you feel there's a chance it's going to go in. Can't say that about a lot of guys.
Arizona, UCLA coming up after this game tonight on ESPN. One of a number of games you've got coming your way on the various networks tonight.
That's the big redhead on the game. Mr. Walton, he had a pretty good NCAA final game against Memphis.
He missed a shot.
He missed a
he
shot.
Missed a shot.
How did the redhead miss a shot?
He made 21 and he missed one.
I know, really. Should have benched him. It was in the Westwood. Should have put him on the sideline.
Boy, Van Treese doing a good job trying to stay with Jackson after he got switched on to him. And Memphis struggling to score in recent minutes. Not anymore.
What a great try. Changed direction really well. Used the screen. Went down the gut of the defense and converted.
And it's a 3-point game with 4 minutes to go here in Louisville.
Try to win their third game in a row. Conference play without Mr. Mahannon.
Smith, nice find. Harrell.
What a great look across the defense. Little diagonal pass. He can dish the rock, man. Got 20 NBA scouts out there doing their charting, they're analyzing.
Goodwin, great drive. Like a running back who sees just enough of a hole to break through it. Goodwin saw the rim and flushed it.
Tell you one thing, the execution's really been efficient here.
Let's take a look now at tonight's Reese's perfect play. And it was that last Louisville play that you were so fond of.
There it is, the little diagonal pass. He knows where his teammate is. Across the lane, gets to the right guy. That's got great bounce. It's like a Spalding ball, man. He bounces right off that floor. There he is, Jam City. A little emotion. Feels good. Must be nice to jump like that. I never got that chance, man. I could hit the net. I was able to hit the net.
I still want to go back to your comment in the first half. You could go out there now. What'd you say? Make 8 out of 10?
Oh, I can make 8 out of 10.
From where?
74 years old.
From where?
Free throw line.
Free throw line?
Free throw line right now.
What are you doing? What are you doing Saturday about 30 minutes before we go on air up in Syracuse?
In front of 30,000?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Doing it on the sport court at home doesn't count for much. Do it out here.
I'm going to do my backyard with my grandsons.
3:29 to go. Louisville with the ball and a 3-point lead.
Free throws will be big now coming down the stretch for both these clubs. Got to make free throws.
Off the foot of Hancock.
Turnover usually means a layup.
Or a dunk and a foul.
What a great look on that pass. I mean, he led it perfectly. I mean, that was a Peyton Manning to Walker for a touchdown for Denver. I mean, there it is. By the way, nobody's going to beat Denver, the Broncos. There's the kick. There's the pass now. Look at the perfect lead. The catch, the jam, and the foul. Oh,
Jackson, Johnson, and they'll have a chance to tie it when we come back.
It goes back here with a studio update. Good one going on over on ESPN2. Ole Miss up by 3 despite 28 by Chris Denson. A little over 2 minutes to play there. How about this guy for UCLA? Closest player in the country to averaging a triple-double. 15, 9, and 7. Kyle Anderson needs to get it done tonight. A little over 15 minutes from tip. Arizona and UCLA top of the hour. Dan, Dick, back to you.
All right, Coach, thank you. And Arizona, one of just 5 remaining unbeatens in the country. How about Wichita State up to 6 in the rankings?
One thing, the Shockers are so for real, man. They showed last year's not a fluke. Clay Anthony is unbelievable, and so is the kid Van Fleet. Great combination. Baker can make shots, and Mr. Marshall can flat out coach. We should get up there, Wichita State. Can we go up there for a game?
Ask the boss.
Hey, boss, come on, boss. Get us up there to Wichita State.
How about the balance for Memphis tonight? 5 in double figures. The old-fashioned three-point play for Johnson. And it's tied again, Dickie V.
Here it is, baby, going down the stretch. 3 minutes on the clock. There's Jones and Jackson. They battled in a high school state championship. It was won by Mr. Jones senior year, but Mr. Jackson told me we won as junior.
Smith the miss. Jones the rebound.
You got to get the ball in the hands of Smith or Hancock. Down the stretch, no one else. Everyone else is a 3rd and 4th option. They got to be number 1 and 2, and Harrell with the offensive rebound.
Johnson guarding Smith. The handoff to Harrell. Still plenty of time, and back to Smith.
A 2-man game. Oh, they popped the ball out of his hands.
And a push is the call on Smith.
Little shake, the ball's out of his hands.
And Smith has fouled out of the game.
Is that 5 on?
That's what we have.
The foul was the other way.
Oh, went against? Boy, yeah. He pointed down. The official pointed down at Smith.
No, the foul went on. It was definitely a push by the kid from Memphis.
I thought the way he pointed at Smith, I thought it was on him, but you're right. It is the other way. Forgive me. It's on Johnson, and Smith's at the free throw line.
Yeah, Johnson definitely pushed off. That's why I was surprised. Big turnaround right there.
As Louisville goes back on top. Smith has 4 for the Cardinals. Crawford and Dixon. Dixon not in the game right now. Each have 4 for Memphis.
And Jones right now playing Jackson.
And Van Treese is called for the foul.
He's going to get down and make free throws. This Van Treese going to hook him right there. There's no doubt about that. Yeah. That's a mugging. I mean, are you kidding me? You go to jail for that in New York. You go to jail for that. You bugged him. Got to look at the referee there. That's a silly foul.
Double bonus.
Totally uncalled for. He was not even in the play. Put him on the free throw line.
You know, Goodwin just quietly does everything Josh Pastner asks him to do. You talked about how some players don't know who they are, don't know what their strengths are. He knows exactly what his strengths are.
That's really quality. When you know what your strengths are, take advantage of them. Try and get some screens here for Hancock. They got Johnson playing him. He's a tenacious defender. Oh, what a great lob over the top. What a great lob. Poor job defensively by Nichols. Never seeing ball in there. You got to be able to see both.
Hancock to Harrell. Harrell now with 14. And the Cardinals are back on top. Less than 2 minutes to go.
Louisville's won the last 4 meetings between these two clubs. We've had an intense rivalry.
Joe Jackson misses the 3. Goodwin swats it out of bounds. Back to Louisville.
You're going to watch right here. The lob on top. Nichols' stare has no clue, and neither does right there. Right over the top. Neither does Shaq Goodwin. They have no clue where he is. They did not know where Harrell was on the floor. Can't make those mistakes late in the game.
Harrell, jump hook. Memphis ball.
Getting quality shots here, very important.
And Harrell, there's a foul call going against Louisville. And it is Hancock with the body down low, although all the attention was focused on the block up high.
As Hancock makes contact right there. There's the push. The shot block took place after the foul. This game psychologically will be so big for Memphis after winning 27 conference games in a row, getting beat at home, and getting beat decisively by Cincinnati.
They started 5 out of 12 from the line. They're 8 for 8 since, and they're back on top.
Talked about that free throw line being big. Their benches into it too. It's got to be the Smith-Hancock show here at the end with Harold out of glass. Look at the matchup on top. They got Johnson playing Smith now. He really gets after the defenseman. You can just see his stance, but he's so tough to stop. He's quick.
Smith misses the runner. Goodwin down with the rebound. Final minute of regulation. Memphis with the ball and the lead.
And they're going to really be patient right here and take a lot of time off that clock. Louisville's going to hope for a stop right here. They're going to get the ball back.
Jackson gets inside. And count the basket. Another goaltending call.
Look at Rick. He is furious.
Hollering for a timeout. Let's get another look. Be tough to tell from this angle because it didn't have to do with the backboard. It was the ball already going down.
Very difficult to see on this situation, but I will say this. When you go head-to-head down the lane like that, usually they're going to call it. I have a little doubt right there.
So a very close call goes the way of the Tigers, and it gives them a 3-point lead. Now, it's still a one-possession game. 39 seconds is an eternity. They don't need a 3 here, right?
Absolutely. You got to go down and score. You think about the 3 only if it comes within your offense, and a guy like Hancock's open, but basically get a quick score right here on a drive to the basket.
Still a lot of time, almost 40 seconds to go, and Hancock, Smith, even Harrell on the inside can all do some damage.
Well, Harrell can do damage on the offensive rebound.
Yeah.
Free throw shooting has been the difference for Memphis here late. As you said, they made 8 consecutive plays. And we saw that drive by Jackson. Remember the Florida game? Same scenario. He came up empty at the end of the game.
So much experience for this Memphis team.
I go a little wild right now on Beale Street, man. Got some great music down there going wild.
This is a big-time rivalry. 88th meeting. Louisville leads 53-34, and they've won 4 in a row, including each of the last 2 seasons.
You got to make sure you find Hancock. They're going to try to run it off your Bantry's screen.
4-second difference, game clock and shot clock. Knocked out of bounds. Still Louisville ball.
Dribbling that ball a little bit high right there. So only 2 or 3 times I've seen deflections on Smith.
Hancock can tie it.
He got the 3.
Boy, they got lucky there because he was wide open off the inbounds play. And sometimes you forget about the guy inbounding the ball.
Yeah, that's really the guy you forget about. They did a great job executing that. There's right there, wide open. I mean, but it is a long range. I mean, he's way behind the line.
Dixon back into the game for Nichols, another ball handler in for the Tigers.
He comes full court pressure. Can't play around. You got to put him on the line. Can't let him take a lot of time off. Spread in the court, trying to take time off that clock. Oh, good ball movement.
Yep. And Ventries finally wraps up Jackson and will send an 87% free throw shooter to the line for 2. It's double bonus both ways.
And it's big. He converts 1 right here. You got a 2-possession game with 18 ticks on the clock.
And really, Goodwin or Johnson are the guys that they wanted to foul. This is the last guy they wanted to foul.
And it's so difficult because of the ball being moved the way it is. To get that guy.
And he missed it.
Break. He's got another chance right here to make it a 2-possession game. No foul. Here, Josh, no foul. No foul. Flashing signs. Got to feel good right there.
And a timeout.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, the perfect combination of chocolate and peanut butter. And in part by Mazda. It takes conviction, creativity, and courage to build cars worth driving. This is the Mazda way. What do you drive?
Welcome back to Louisville with Dick Vitale. I'm Dan Schulman. The Memphis Tigers trying to pull off a road victory. The Cardinals still looking for a signature win, as we've said, having lost to Carolina, having lost to Kentucky. 18 seconds down for. What does Louisville do?
Well, Louisville right now really got to get a quick score real quick. And then you got to try for the steal, foul, and again, hope and pray. Yep. I mean, really right now they put themselves in a bad position with a couple of bad possessions. But on the other side, Memphis converted 90% of their fouls at the end, making 9 out of 10. And that's what's giving them this lead.
Memphis led most of the first half. Louisville took the lead for a long stretch of the second half, but give the Tigers a lot of credit for clawing back and taking the lead. And Russ Smith, who was so hot for the first 10 minutes of the second half, has been quiet for the last several minutes.
Well, you got to credit that also, the adjustment they made defensively. They put Johnson on a little bit, even though they switched a little. But Johnson is a tenacious defender.
Hancock's got 20, Smith's got 19, 5 in double figures for Josh Pastner's Memphis Tigers. The only ranked win that they have had was earlier this year against Oklahoma State. This one would be a big one for this program.
Tell you one thing, though, you look at Louisville, this game was, I thought, a must game for them. Playing at home, looking for that quality win. You better hurry up, man. The clock is going.
Blackshear misses the three. Hancock loses the ball, and Memphis is going to win it.
It's all over now, baby. It's celebration time at Beale Street. They're jumping with joy. Oh, what a difference about 72 hours makes. Think about it. They lose to Cincinnati at home, come on a road and beat a really good Louisville team.
They end the game on a 7-0 run on the road and pick up a win over a ranked team as they beat Louisville 73-67, and you could see right in front of us, Dick, the pure joy on the faces of the Tigers after the horn sounded.
There it is, Jam City. It's a terrific win. Anytime you can come in and beat the defending national champs on their floor. Yep. This is their first loss at home. Louisville has not been home. I believe it's 23 days.
Yep.
23 days.
And all 5 starters for Memphis in double figures. And look how excited. He's always excited, but he's especially excited now after picking up this big win on the road.
He feels like $1 million, baby. He's floating. He doesn't need that plane to take him back to Memphis.
73-67. Memphis defeats Louisville here as the Cardinals suffer their first loss in the league. They are 13-3 on the season. Memphis, like Louisville, now 2-1 in the league. They are 11-3 on the season. Jeff Goodman is with a happy coach.
Josh, how important was this victory for you guys coming off the loss at home to Cincinnati?
Well, let me just first say this. Louisville is such a good team. Coach Pitino, obviously one of the greatest coaches ever to coach the game. And we just played really well. Got to give so much credit to our assistant coaches in the preparation. Our assistant coaches were amazing, and obviously our players stepped up and did the job. Players make plays. It's a players' game, and they made plays.
You didn't shoot it well from the three, and that was the key for you. What was the difference in the second half?
You know, we made some big plays late. Jaron Johnson, Joe Jackson, we made some big rebounds. We made some free throws late after we didn't make any. But I'm really so proud of our guys. My staff has done such an amazing job. My players, let me tell you something, this Louisville team is really good. Coach Pitino is one of the greatest of all time, and what a great win for the Memphis Tigers.
Well, you asked for the halftime interview, you got the post-game interview as well. Congrats.
Let me say this, we play Saturday at 3 o'clock Eastern against a great Temple team who's Fran Dunphy, who's one of the best coaches in the game. So no time to celebrate, we got to get ready.
Thanks, Josh.
If only he could get some enthusiasm going. What a win for Josh Pastner in Memphis. More hoops coming. Arizona, UCLA, Pauley Pavilion, Dave Pasch, Bill Walton.